Here's the 36 NBA records that Nikola Jokic holds. First up, let's talk about Jokic's latest achievement. He hit 13,000 points for his career last season. But that's not even the crazy part. Jokic became the youngest player in NBA history to record 13,000 points, 6,000 rebounds, and 4,000 assists before his 29th birthday. Think about that for a second. Not even LeBron James hit those numbers this early. Jokic broke LeBron's record. LeBron set that record when he was 29 years and 82 days old. But Jokic, he did it before he even hit 29. That's insane. We're talking about a guy who's not just dominating as a scorer, but as a rebounder and playmaker. It's like he does everything on the court. Honestly, if you're not already appreciating Jokic, what are you waiting for? And just when you think Jokic couldn't set another record, boom. He becomes the first player in NBA history with at least 14 assists and 14 rebounds in 3 straight games. Like, who does that? It's usually one or the other. But Jokic said, nah, I'll just take both. This dude's passing ability combined with his rebounding is unheard of. We're witnessing something special, folks. Speaking of domination, let's talk about what Jokic just pulled off in the 2023 playoffs. Jokic became one of only 2 players in NBA history to lead the entire playoffs in points, assists, and rebounds. That's right, the entire playoffs. If that's not enough to make you a believer, I don't know what is. His versatility is literally unmatched. Another exclusive club Jokic belongs to, he's one of only 5 players born outside the US to win Finals MVP. He joins an elite group that includes Hakeem, Tony Parker, Dirk, and Giannis. That's some Hall of Fame company right there. Here's where things get wild. Jokic was the 41st pick in the 2015 NBA draft. Can you believe that? This guy, drafted during a Taco Bell commercial, became an MVP, the only MVP to be drafted lower than 15th. And he's the second Finals MVP drafted in the second round. The first, Dennis Johnson, way back in 1979 with the Seattle Supersonics. What a journey. Jokic is a walking triple-double machine in the playoffs. He's already recorded 16 career playoff triple-doubles, which ranks him 3rd all-time behind only Magic Johnson and LeBron James. The dude's in the same conversation as 2 of the best to ever do it. And at just 29, he could end up topping that list one day. His playoff performances don't stop there either. Jokic's career playoff points per game, 27.5. That's 4 points more than his regular season average, which just shows he thrives when the stakes are high. He ranks 9th all-time in playoff points per game, and on top of that, he ranks 19th in assists per game and 16th in rebounds per game. No other player in NBA history is in the top 40 in all 3 categories. Let that sink in. And we have to talk about the 2023 NBA Finals. Jokic was just on another level. He averaged 30.2 points per game during the finals. Only 10 players in NBA history have ever averaged more than 30 points in a final series win, and Jokic is one of them now. That's superstar status. Jokic is also deadly from deep. His 41.3% career playoff 3-point shooting ranks 4th among all players who've attempted at least 250 playoff threes. Not bad for a big man, huh? We're used to seeing sharpshooters like Curry or Clay light it up, but Jokic, he's doing it while running the show as a center. And don't even get me started on his efficiency in the paint. Jokic shoots 58.2% from between 5 and 9 feet since entering the league in 2015. The next closest player with at least 200 attempts from that range is Kevin Durant at 53.4%, and the league average is just 41%. What Jokic is doing around the rim with his mix of hooks, floaters, and sheer size is ridiculous. He's scoring at a rate that's blowing everyone else out of the water. Jokic's efficiency doesn't stop there. His 70.1% true shooting percentage this past season was the highest in NBA history for a player with at least 1,000 shot attempts. Let me repeat that, the highest in NBA history. This stat takes into account 2s, 3s, and free throws, and Jokic is not just good at all of them, he's the best. In fact, only Curry in his legendary 2016 unanimous MVP season was more efficient relative to the league average. That's elite company. Last, but definitely not least, we've got to mention Jokic's unreal performance in Game 4 against the Phoenix Suns in the 2023 playoffs. Jokic dropped 53 points, the most ever scored by any player in a regulation playoff loss. That's right, he lost the game, but still made history with an incredible scoring performance. This guy's skill and heart are undeniable. Let's go back to Nikola Jokic's 2023 NBA playoff real quick. If you're a basketball fan, you've got to appreciate the sheer brilliance of what we witnessed. Jokic was out there rewriting the record books night after night, and he did it all with that effortless, almost casual style that makes you wonder, how does he do it? Let's talk numbers, because they're mind-blowing. The Denver Nuggets, with Jokic on the court, scored an insane 124.2 points per 100 possessions, the best offensive rating in NBA history with a single player. No other team has ever been that efficient, and it's no wonder. Jokic isn't just a big guy who can shoot and pass, he's a basketball genius. His vision, his timing, his ability to make his teammates better, it's all next level. Seriously, how many 6'11" centers do you know that can dish out assists like a point guard? We're talking 147 games where Jokic has notched at least 10 assists. And get this, no other player 6'10" or taller has ever managed even 8% of their games with double-digit assists. Jokic, he's sitting at nearly 25%. It's unreal. And if you think that's crazy, let's not forget about those triple-doubles. Jokic is a walking stat machine. He dropped 10 triple-doubles in the 2023 playoffs alone, breaking a record that stood since Wilt Chamberlain set it in the 60s. Wilt was a giant, a once-in-a-lifetime player. And here's Jokic, just casually passing that mark like it's no big deal. He's now third all-time in playoff triple-doubles with 16, behind only Magic Johnson and LeBron James. Let that sink in. Jokic is already in the conversation with the greatest of all time. Oh, and speaking of greatness, remember that 30-20-10 game in the finals? Yeah, Jokic went off for 32 points, 21 rebounds, and 10 assists in Game 3 against the Miami Heat, making him the first player ever to do that in an NBA Finals game. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that. First ever, as in no one in the entire history of the league has done what Jokic did that night. And the wild part? He's had 3 of those 30-20-10 games in the postseason. It's like watching history unfold right in front of us. But Jokic wasn't just racking up stats for fun, he was doing it when it mattered most. He became the first player in NBA history to reach 500 points, 250 rebounds, and 100 assists in a single postseason. That's not just filling up the box score, that's dominating the game in every possible way. The man was a one-man wrecking crew, and yet he somehow managed to make his teammates look even better. Jamal Murray was the perfect example of this. The two-man game between Jokic and Murray was insane. Watching them was like watching a beautifully choreographed dance. And in Game 3 of the finals, they both notched triple-doubles. Jokic had 32, 21, and 10, while Murray dropped 34, 10, and 10. It was the first time in NBA history that 2 teammates had triple-doubles in the same finals game. That's the kind of chemistry we're talking about here, people. Jokic makes the impossible seem routine. Let's talk about post-ups though, because that's where the Joker really dominates. In a league that's moving away from the post, Jokic is bringing it back. He led the NBA in post-ups this season and posted up 122 times in the playoffs, double what Anthony Davis did, who came in second. Posting up might be a lost art for most players, but not Jokic. He's efficient, he's patient, and he's got that soft touch that makes defenders feel helpless. Among the 50 players with the most post-ups, Jokic ranked second in points per possession this season and was first last season. He's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. And let's not forget how far Jokic has come. He was drafted 41st overall in 2014 during a Taco Bell commercial, no less. Now, he's got 3 MVPs, a Finals MVP, and is regarded as one of the best players in the world. It's the ultimate underdog story. No one saw this coming, but here we are, witnessing the rise of one of the greatest players of all time. But here's the craziest part about Jokic. Despite all the fame, the records, and the accolades, the guy has 0 social media presence. None. No Twitter, no Instagram, nothing. In a world where athletes live on social media, Jokic is just doing his thing. He's all about the game, and that makes him even more legendary. Oh, and in case you're wondering about his contract, Jokic signed the largest deal in NBA history, a $272 million Supermax extension. That's $54.4 million per year starting next season, making him the highest paid player in North American sports. From Taco Bell commercials to breaking bank, Jokic's journey is nothing short of spectacular. Nikola Jokic continues to amaze us all, and it seems like every time he steps onto the court, he's adding to his legacy. He's already solidified himself as one of the most versatile and dominant players in NBA history, but his recent accomplishments just take things to a whole new level. 7 straight seasons with at least 10 triple-doubles. Are you kidding me? That's not just impressive, it's legendary. To put that into context, players dream of getting a single triple-double in their careers. And here's Jokic, doing it year after year like it's nothing. But that's the thing about Jokic, he makes the impossible look effortless. He's joined the likes of Oscar Robertson by becoming only the second player ever to record 2,000 points, 900 rebounds, and 600 assists in a single season. We're talking about a stat line so well-rounded, it's hard to wrap your head around it. Scoring, rebounding, playmaking. Jokic does it all, and he does it at an elite level. The way he impacts the game on every level is unmatched, and the fact that he's consistently putting up these kinds of numbers is just mind-blowing. And let's talk about that 4-year run Jokic is putting together. There are only 4 other all-time greats who have pulled off something similar: Bill Russell, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and LeBron James. We're talking about 3 regular season MVPs and 2 NBA titles in a span of 4 years. That's Mount Rushmore level stuff. Jokic is carving his name alongside these legends, and honestly, it feels like he's just getting started. What we're witnessing is the rise of a player who could go down as one of the top 5 to ever play the game, and it's thrilling to see it unfold. Now, if you want to talk about records that highlight Jokic's sheer dominance, look no further than the quickest triple-double ever. He recorded it in just 14 minutes and 33 seconds of playing time. That shattered Jim Tucker's previous record of 17 minutes, which had stood since 1955. We're talking about a record that had lasted almost 70 years. But of course, Jokic being Jokic, he didn't stop there. He hit the triple-double mark with almost 2 minutes left in the second quarter, making it the quickest triple-double in the last 20 years, based on game clock time. This dude is playing the game on a different level than everyone else. You don't see that kind of efficiency and impact from anyone else in the league. Jokic's unique ability to dominate games in so many ways puts him in an elite group. He's now one of only 3 players in the last 35 years, joining James Harden and Larry Bird, to put up at least 30 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists in a game. And it's not just the stats, though they're absolutely mind-blowing, it's the way Jokic controls the game. His court vision, his feel for the game, and his understanding of how to make his teammates better all contribute to why he's become such a dominant force. When you're in the company of players like Harden and Bird, it's clear you're doing something special. And then there's his recent crowning achievement. Jokic has become just the 9th player in NBA history to win 3 or more MVP awards. That's a club that includes some of the most iconic names in basketball history: Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Moses Malone, and LeBron James. Jokic is now part of this exclusive group, and he earned it in a way that only he can. He didn't dominate with overwhelming athleticism or flashy dunks. He did it with finesse, skill, and a basketball IQ that's off the charts. Jokic is also the first player in NBA history to score or assist on 70 points in a playoff game without committing a single turnover. Think about that. 70 points created by one player without even a hint of a mistake. That's pure basketball brilliance. Jokic doesn't just make plays, he makes the right plays time and time again. It's one thing to put up big numbers, but to do it with such incredible efficiency and precision, that's the mark of greatness. And let's not forget about his dominance in the postseason. Jokic now has 4 playoff games with 20 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists, tying him with none other than Wilt Chamberlain for the most such games in NBA playoff history. Anytime you're in the same conversation as Wilt, you know you've reached legendary status. Wilt was a giant of the game, and for Jokic to match him in such a specific and difficult stat line shows just how special he is. Nikola Jokic is just a different breed, man. I mean, this guy is out here rewriting the record books every time he steps on the floor. He had the NBA's first ever game with 26 points, 16 rebounds, and 18 assists. That's a stat line from a video game, but nope, that's Jokic. In real life, playing the game like it's a chess match and everyone else is stuck on checkers. And then there's the fact that Jokic became the 6th player in NBA history to record 100 triple-doubles. That's legendary company. Think about it. Only 5 other players in the entire history of the league have done that. Oscar Robertson, Magic Johnson, Jason Kidd, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook, absolute icons. Now Jokic is right up there with them. But what makes Jokic's triple-double so wild is that he's doing it as a big man, something that just wasn't supposed to happen. A center doing point guard things? That's not just rare, it's practically unheard of. If you dive deeper into his stats, it just keeps getting crazier. Look at box plus minus, a stat that tells you how much better a player makes his team when he's on the floor compared to when he's off. Jokic ranks first with 7.2. Let me break that down for you. Thompson is way behind at 2.6. Then English with 2.5 and Issel with 2.3. Carmelo Anthony, an incredible player in his own right, only has 1.2 BPM compared to Jokic's 7.2. That's how dominant Jokic is. Remember that 25-game stretch where Jokic put up numbers that have never been seen before in NBA history? Over 25 games, he averaged 25.4 points, 10.9 rebounds, 8.8 assists, 1.3 blocks, and 1 steal per game. On top of that, he was shooting the lights out. How about 74.9% from the field, 57.1% from beyond the arc, and 85.5% from the free throw line? Those shooting splits are just absurd, especially for a guy his size. It's not just about the volume of shots, it's the efficiency. His true shooting percentage during that stretch was 79.8%. Let me tell you, that's efficiency on a level we've never seen before. Every shot he takes just seems to count. And if you're still not convinced that Jokic is changing the game, let's talk about his place in NBA history. He's the only player to have a season with all of these stats. No one else has done it. And if that's not enough, he's led the Nuggets in points, rebounds, and assists for 5 straight seasons. No one does that. No one. He's also had a season where he averaged 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. Then there's the season where he averaged 25 points, 8 assists, and shot over 55% from the field. That kind of versatility is next level. But wait, it doesn't stop there. Jokic became the first player to lead the entire NBA in points, rebounds, and assists in one postseason. It's one thing to dominate the regular season, but doing it in the playoffs, when the pressure is sky high, is just a whole new level of greatness. And he didn't stop there. In his first 500 career games, Jokic racked up over 5,000 rebounds and 3,000 assists. Those numbers are legendary. They're the kind of numbers that make you sit back and go, wait, did that really happen? And yet, what makes Jokic so special isn't just the stats. Although the stats are mind-blowing, it's how he plays the game. He's got this calm, almost unbothered demeanor on the court, like he's playing with his own set of rules. He's always one step ahead of everyone else. His passing is a thing of beauty. Whether it's a behind-the-back, no-look dish, or a full-court dime, he does it with such ease. How many big men do you know who can thread the needle with pinpoint accuracy from any spot on the floor? It's like he's got eyes in the back of his head. Jokic makes the game look so simple, and that's what sets him apart. He's not the most athletic guy. He's not flying down the court for highlight reel dunks. But what he's doing is so much harder. He controls the pace of the game like a conductor leading an orchestra. He knows exactly where his teammates need to be, exactly how to get them the ball, and exactly when to take over the scoring if the situation calls for it. It's like watching a master at work, and let's not forget his work ethic. You don't get to where Jokic is by just being talented. He's put in the hours, the blood, sweat, and tears. He's transformed his body, his game, and his mindset to become one of the best players the league has ever seen. Coming from a second-round pick to the 2-time MVP and NBA champion is one of the most incredible stories we've ever witnessed in the NBA. It's hard not to be a fan of Jokic's journey. Speaking of MVPs, let's not downplay what an accomplishment it is to win multiple MVPs in today's NBA. The league is stacked with talent right now. Guys like Giannis, Embiid, LeBron, Luka, Curry. It's a battlefield out there. And yet Jokic continues to rise above the competition. He's just that good. His back-to-back MVP seasons are nothing short of spectacular. And if you ask me, he's got a legitimate shot at even more MVPs in the future. The craziest part is, Jokic is still getting better. He's still evolving. His understanding of the game is only deepening. And he's continuing to add layers to his game that make him even more unguardable. If you think he's reached his peak, think again. This man is just entering his prime, and the league better watch out because Jokic isn't slowing down anytime soon. The Nuggets are a force to be reckoned with because of him. Sure, they've got other great players, but Jokic is the engine that makes everything go. He's the heartbeat of that team. And as long as Jokic is on the floor, Denver is a championship contender. Year in and year out, the way he elevates his teammates is unmatched. He's like a Swiss Army knife, doing whatever his team needs to win. But what's really fun about Jokic is how much joy he seems to get out of the game. He's out there having fun, making his teammates better, and it's infectious. You can see it in the way his teammates play, with that extra bounce in their step, knowing they're part of something special. Watching Jokic is watching basketball at its purest form. It's team first, unselfish basketball where the goal is to win and to do it the right way. That's what makes him so special. There's no doubt about it. Nikola Jokic is on a trajectory that could land him in the Hall of Fame as one of the all-time greats. Every night, he's breaking new ground, and every season, he's adding to his already impressive legacy. He's rewriting what it means to be a center in the modern NBA, and we're all just lucky to be witnesses to it. So buckle up, because the Nikola Jokic show is far from over, and trust me, it's going to be one heck of a ride. If you're not already in awe of what this man is doing on the court, you will be soon. Jokic is the real deal, and the sky's the limit for what he can accomplish. Let's just sit back and enjoy the magic, because we are witnessing something truly special, something that may never be duplicated again.